Happy Friday. I was going to wait to make this video until I got the mail today since there are a couple of books that are supposed to arrive, but based on the time, I'm going to guess that it's not a regular mail lady today. So usually she's on time. As cranky as she is on time. So I'm just going to assume that she had the week off for the holiday. So that's fine. I'm not opposed to making another video when I get everything because I did happen to get a coupon from Thrift Books for a free book since it's my birthday month. So, of course, I immediately hopped on that, and you can't just order one book, you have to get multiples. So I have multiples coming in multiple packages. So it will be like extra special, extended, or early birthday, however you want to put it. But I've been listening for her mail truck and I have not heard it come. So, oh well, like I said, I'm not opposed to making another video or just saving them for next week. Um I say I haven't read a ton since the last video. That's part of the reason I didn't make one last week is just because I didn't feel like I had enough to talk about, but I have actually finished 5 books since then. So I will go over those with you and then show you the 2 that I started. There is Mrs. Phoebe. She was in here yelling at me. I think she's tired herself out. So she's going to go and get a snack, and then probably it's about her nap time. But the first one that I will let you know that I finished was Happy Place by Emily Henry. That was one of those that I cut it down to the wire and was reading up until having to get it in that day or incur a late fee. And I am not about the late fee life. Even though it's 10 cents a day, I'm not doing that. If I'm going to donate to the library, I'm going to donate to the library more than 10 cents. So that was just my kick in the pants to, okay, speed it up, go ahead, buckle down, sit down and finish it. So I did, and I, of course, dropped it off. It was like 5:30, and they close at 7. And you'll be proud of me. I only got one book from the library, which I'll show you in addition to the ones I still had checked out. So I think I have 9 or 10 checked out. And then I got a notification that one is available for pickup. So there's not just going to be, I say there's not just going to be one picked up. Who knows? But anyways, back to the point. I did finish right under the deadline, Happy Place by Emily Henry. I think everybody knows what the cover looks like at this point. It was my least favorite of her books. It has great reviews, but it just meandered, and it's one of those bumping, like, hit then and now, then and now. I don't care for that as a timeline, and it was miscommunication, and the miscommunication trope drives me crazy. I mean, it worked out in the end. The last, I would say, 80 pages or so is where it really picked up and got good. Got good. That sounds awful. Improved is a better way of saying it. But still, it took way too long to get to that point. Again, 3 stars. It was good. I like Emily Henry's writing. That will not stop me from reading her other things in the future. But if you have not read her, it is not a great place to start. If you are going to read Emily Henry, I would definitely suggest, I'm trying to think, probably People We Met on Vacation was my favorite. That and Beach Read, neck and neck. So People We Met on Vacation and Beach Read. And I'm very happy that the publisher has kept the covers consistent, because nothing drives me crazier than inconsistency. So we'll see. I'm sure next year, this time, we'll have another Emily Henry, and she will be the summer go-to author. The next one I finished for June on the Range, which was the only book that I finished for June on the Range. I totally it didn't happen. But I'm proud that I did one. This month is Jane Austen. I don't do Jane Austen. And is it BookTube Goes to War? Something along those lines. I do have one I'm thinking about. I borrowed from Audio. It's Matterhorn by Carl Merlantes. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but he was on the PBS or Ken Burns Vietnam. I watched years ago and found out that he had a book. So I have the physical copy, but of course, the library had an audiobook. So I have it downloaded if I do want that, but I know I have others around the house that I can pick. But anyways, back to the topic for June on the range. I finished Riders of the Purple Sage. Not the best cover, but I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. It was okay. Um, the ending was kind of like, um, um, maybe interpret at your own. I've not seen the movie, so I don't know. I'd like to think it's a happy ending, but I think the author purposefully left it up to interpretation. And then Quietly Hostile by Samantha Irby. This is her fourth memoir, if you want to call it. She has a short little novella, cash cow, if you want to, cash grab, if you want to say it. Definitely the least favorite. I gave it 2 stars. She is an acquired taste as far as you better be okay with bodily functions. She took it too far this time. I'm not prude by any sense of the imagination, but it just was like, okay, we get the shtick. You've done this every single book. Move on. And then she took and basically, to get her word count, put in all of the Dave Matthews Band songs, her favorite ones, and how she experienced it, where she experienced it, and then every single episode of Sex in the City. Like, seriously, we don't need that. That was word filler to get the book published. So, no. And again, kind of like Emily Henry, will I read her next book? Yes. But did I enjoy this one? No. And then last night, I don't know why I stretched this off so long. It was 194 pages, if I'm remembering correctly. Don't know why I stretched it out. It wasn't anything difficult to read. Took like no brain power. But it was Lake of the Ozarks, my Surreal Summers in Vanishing America by Bill Geist on the Sunday morning show. I gave it 3 stars. It was good. It was fine. It was nothing groundbreaking. It was what it was. So if you want something nostalgic from the 50s and 60s on a lodge slash motel in the Ozarks, and his spending summers there, and the lodge no longer being there now, it was fine. Like I said, nothing overly amazing. I think that June, for the most part, and these last 5 books, they've just been they're fine. Like they're fine. And that's been my year of reading. It's okay. And then yesterday, yes, I did do a whole book yesterday. The Stillwater Girls by Minka Kent. It was a thriller. I gave it 3 stars. It was one of those randomly found it on Kindle Unlimited, and then it had the audiobook. So I listened to it on audio, and it was really fast. I think the ebook is only 275-ish pages. So if you wanted to read it, it's super short. The ending and the whodunit was like, yeah, okay. She has a bunch of books. I had never heard of her. So if you're interested in thrillers, she's got a ton. A lot of them do have the audio capability. So that was my last getting it in under the wire for Kindle Unlimited. My subscription ended today. I canceled it. I'm one of those that I don't get enough use out of Kindle Unlimited to keep it going. But occasionally if they send the, hey, we want you to come back we'll give you 2 or 3 months for $2.99 or something like that, then I'll do it. Because I feel like, okay, I can get enough's worth out of that, but to pay, what is it now, $11.99, $12.99, something, I don't find it to be worth it for me. But all in all, I mean, it was fine. I think that's Kindle Unlimited in a nutshell. Any of the books on there are not Pulitzers. They're brain candy. They're fluff. Good for a read, and then you promptly forget them. And then the two that I am currently reading, both library books, as if I needed library books. I have a house full of unread books that I could never ever finish in my lifetime, but book acquisitions and reading are two different hobbies. So the first one is something I purely just like the spine from the library shelf was just like, is that a woodpecker? So I pulled it off the shelf. I was like, okay, I'll take this. Not even really doing more than a couple of quick words on the back of the book. I was like, okay, that's fine. So nobody will have heard of this book, and if you have, let me know. But it's Farm Girl, a Wisconsin memoir by Buna Coburn Carlson. Buna is a very old name. So yeah, when I pulled off the shelf, it was the woodpecker. The woodpecker's on the spine. But it's short, as you can tell, 200 pages ish. 211, 212 pages. Just about her life growing up in the Great Depression in Wisconsin and her big family. And I don't know if she's still living, but this was published in 2020 and she was still alive. So we'll see. But I mean, yeah. I don't know that I was expecting a Little House on the Prairie. It's not going to be a Little House on the Prairie, but we'll see how it goes. And then this is the one I picked up last week that you have not seen. You guys have seen the other one if you watched my last video of my library haul. This one I have read all of 16 pages. I took it with me to the dermatologist last week and read maybe one page. I cannot read in public because I'm easily distracted. It may be something undiagnosed, but I can't. Noises, looking off into the distance, something. Why I took it, I don't know. But yeah, I did just get it a week ago. Thankfully, it's not one that I have to rush to finish to get it in under the deadline like some of my other ones. But I saw somebody on TikTok talking about it, and don't automatically go, ugh. Because most of the TikTok books, I have been guilty of getting on the bandwagon, getting on the hype, and 99% of them are terrible. Oh, she's not taking a nap. So I take TikTok recommendations in and then promptly toss them now because I just don't trust them. I don't. But this one, I think I've tried the author once and was not in the headspace to deal with his crunchy, I don't want to say crunchy, his try hard to be literary style. So we're going to give him another shot just because this particular person on TikTok, can't think of his name, but he does a lot of nonfiction. He has a taste in nonfiction that is similar to mine. So I was like, okay, it's at the library, shockingly enough, and I will get it. Of course, the cover, it was also a cover, oh my gosh, but it is The 90s by Chuck Klosterman. I think I have Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs, and maybe just some of his other, if I have it quickly, I'm not going to make you wait for me to dig. I don't have Eating the Dinosaur. I think I have Killing Yourself to Live. But basically, the 90s, snippets of the 90s. Some of us are like, oh, it was the greatest decade. I can say it was the greatest decade, but only because I was growing up. That was my youth of middle school, high school, completing high school. So that was the golden age of no responsibilities. The country as a whole was in a good place, and then it all went to shit. So yes, I'm sorry if I've not cursed on this channel. I do tend to do that. But nothing outstanding so far, but a lot of it I will stop and go, yeah, 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 okay. So I will be curious as to know where it goes. I can't really, there are chapters, but I can't really tell you what each chapter is about because it doesn't give anything detailed, like fighting the battle of who could care less, the structure of feeling, 19%, the edge as viewed from the middle. The movie was about a movie, Control Alt Delete, three outcomes, yesterday's concepts of tomorrow. So I just feel like it's going to be a hodgepodge of politics, pop culture, media, all of that. So hopefully I will enjoy it. I did have this phone. I did have this phone. I think it was like my sister and I shared it, but yeah, that that see-through technology of the mid-ish, early mid-ish 90s for sure. I had a cassette player boombox, small, with a little red handle that I would carry around. I loved that thing. If I ever found one, I would buy it. Do I own any cassette tapes anymore? Absolutely not. But I loved that thing, and I could list off a dozen cassette tapes that I had that I played in that. Let's see if you want to have a laugh. Michael Bolton. I can't remember if the album was Time, Love, and Tenderness. It's the one with the black background. I can see it in my mind's eye. My absolute favorite Michael Bolton song is Still Bars. And I could not have been like 12 years old. I don't even know if I was 12 years old when that came out. And he came to Knoxville, and I wanted to go so badly. And my mom was like, no, I'm not taking you to a giant arena, whatever. I don't know if it was at the Coliseum or whatever. I was like, no. So I got my heart broken as a child that I didn't go see Michael Bolton. But if I ever had the opportunity as an adult, I would. But Steel Bars is the best Michael Bolton song. Um, I did have, do you guys remember, and I'll try to keep this short, when you had just basically the singles in the little sleeve? Wasn't a plastic, it was the cardboard sleeve that it pulled off. I had Shaquille O'Neal. Yes, yes. I had a short lived thing for Shaquille O'Neal as a child. Um, Snow. Does anybody remember Snow? The song Informer. Listen to that on that tape player a billion times. The greatest. I won't go on. This will be my last one. Um, well, take that back. Wilson Phillips, Janet Jackson, and my absolute favorite to this day, without a doubt, one of the greatest songs of all time. Absolutely, you can cackle. Absolutely, you can laugh. This is just my personality, my music taste. I know everybody, it's cliche to say, oh, my music taste is eclectic. It really is. It truly is. My most favoritist, not New Kids on the Block. I love New Kids on the Block. Saw them in 1990 in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's almost laughed in with this. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Good vibrations. Turn that song on. Go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to wherever you consume your music. Turn that on and tell me it does not make you happy. One of the best songs of all time. Right up there with California Love. Like, I needed to come up with a list of favorite songs. But yes, yes, that is my rambling. It has nothing to do with books, but I thought that you would get tickled by just imagine a small Lindsay. I'll try, like, we're still cleaning out my mom's house. I'll try to get some pictures of me as a kid around that age and share what doofy hair I had. But I would, we had a pop-up tent. I say a pop-up tent. You had to put it together. Did we ever go camping as a family? Absolutely not. I don't know if I asked for it how we acquired said tent. It was just one of the smaller ones, like you could fit a couple of people in it. Sometimes the next door neighbor and I would camp out in the backyard, like sleep overnight in the backyard. But mostly I would pitch the tent, which sounds crass. I would pitch the tent and I would bring stuff from inside the house into this tent. I had a rug, I had a beanbag chair, my boom box, like some decorations, and I would go hang out in the tent, like in the blue blazing southern summer, and listen to my cassettes and read whatever book I was reading. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would probably do it now if I had a fan or something along the lines, but I have always been an odd duck. Let's just put it that way. But that's it. Hopefully, I will get some reading done this weekend. We are going on a trip for my birthday in a couple weeks, which means no reading. I don't read on vacation. It's if I do, it's very little. I'm not a vacation reader. It's there's too much to do. I say there's too much to do. We never have an itinerary. I am not an itinerary traveler. We do what we do when we want to do it, what we feel like doing. But I'm not one to sit on a beach and read a book or sit by a pool and read a book. That's just a waste of time for me. I hate saying that about books, but I would rather do things that I can't do otherwise. So, I mean, hey, we went to a serpentarium one time on our trip. So, who knows if we'll go back to the serpentarium? I don't know. We'll wing it. But there will be some days I won't read this month just because I have other things to do. So I'll read as I can. I'll keep you updated as I can. But I hope everybody is having a good month. Let me know if you're participating in any of the June Austen in July, the BookTube at War, any of those. I would be interested to see. But I hope you have a good rest of your Friday and a good weekend. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.